Boom. Tina G, Susie Brizuela, Peter is a boss, Kelly Murphy, Karen Purdy, Misha Oliver, Jennifer Rayner, Kathleen Cross, your boy Ken, Julian Gauthier, Punxsutawney Mo, Amanda Crawford, Matt Meehan, and me, BDD, in the Heezy. Stephanie L. from Florida. Lucy L. Trump Reaper. Queen of the South. Victorina. Yes, I am early today. Yeah. Karen Purdy from Newton Falls, Ohio. Bernadette! Sarah B. Samantha B. Monique Lee. LB Studio. I shall slap a Trump card. Synth Fan. Welcome to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad, and this is Storytime. Gling, gling. I see Watcher Soko has joined us, as has Steph KW, Jennifer Rayner, and yes, there we go. So, happy Monday, everybody. I hope you all had a great weekend. Sheila Bird is here, she be from balmy Chicago. Yeah, I had a nice, relaxing weekend, and I kind of needed that a little bit. What's up, Misha? Misha Oliver. So this is going to be a slightly different format. It's still essentially the same. I've cut it down a bit, and that's why I'm here relatively early slash on time for once. We'll see, God willing, if I can make it twice in a row tomorrow. But before we get into all that, let's get into our stories of the day. Stories of the day. What is normalcy in a post-COVID world? Well, I sure hope it's not that. Another weekend of mass shootings in 8 states leaves hundreds of people mourning. Belarus does state-sponsored hijacking and the international community responds. We got another entry in that Name That Thing pantheon. This is Name That Movie quote. And last but not least, you guessed it, it's Marjorie Taylor Greene in today's You Raggedy Bish. You Raggedy Bish, let me tell you a thing or two. Yeah, thanks to the input from a few of you loyal viewers out there, I was trying to figure out, damn it, why has viewership dropped off? And some people had suggested that perhaps it's because, you start later And some people have, a lot of people have their what do you call? They've got to make dinner and they have regular life family things that they have to tend to. So so as such, it's going to be a little bit cut down, a little bit abbreviated, and let's see how that works. If I need to cut it some more, if I add more, whatever. We're doing things on the fly. But first, I wanted to share with you. This is the that random part of the show. Um, this weekend, I did receive comic books. This is my once per month comic book subscription, and I got the Amazing Spider-Man. You know, Brooklyn Dad is a big comic book fan. Captain America. I got Daredevil. I love these books, and I read them, and then I tell wifey all about them. I like narrate what has happened. The Hulk. Uh, More Amazing Spider-Man. Spidey actually has a new costume that makes him faster and stronger. I don't care much for the costume. Daredevil is in prison, so he's got Elektra holding it down for him in Hell's Kitchen. So this is some fun stuff that I've already gotten more than knee deep into, and I got a few other random things to share with you. Let's see, where is it? Boom, 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 boom. Wait, where's my random slides? I don't see them. That's weird. Hang on a second. We're always doing this on the fly. Here we go. Okay. Da, 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 da. Boom. Okay, so first up, last night in the Brooklyn Dad home was Knicks playoff game night. This was a very big deal because the Knicks have not been in the playoffs since the year 2013. And as you guys know, I am a long suffering Knick fan. Well, my expectations were high, as were Julia, Mr. Randall's uh, expectations, and he was all smiles before the game. But as the game progressed, and it was a tight game, it was well fought. They missed a few crucial free throws, but ultimately I was cursing up a storm. And yeah, the look on RJ Barrett's face tells a story. We were beaten by 2 points, and this guy here has become the new villain of Madison Square Garden. This is a young man by the name of Trey Young, who plays for the Atlanta Hawks. And I tell you, I was cursing him out during the entire game. Now, he wasn't doing anything really wrong. You know, he's doing his job, and he is really good at that job. And, you know, like, I hate this guy. He's like the new Reggie Miller. And he was taunting us, and he destroyed us with a very basic, you know, floating shot that just kept landing for him. So, god damn it. The next game is Wednesday night. I did I did resist the urge. I still have not yet tweeted about my Knicks, because I'm a superstitious creature, and I believe if I tweet about them, I will jinx it. So at least if they win this series against the Hawks, then I shall tweet. Next up, this was quite an interesting TV and movie weekend for us in the Brooklyn Dad household. And this one here is on Netflix, and it's called Magic for Humans. Some of you might have seen me tweet about this guy here pulling a tea bag out of his eye. That was gross. And still, I was like, how the hell did he do that? And the thing that vexes me about this show is his magic is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Wifey and I are like looking at each other like, how the hell did he do that? But what's vexing about this show is the reactions from the people on the street. He just basically does these magic tricks for people on the street, and their reactions are so muted. Like, I would have been cursing, I would have been freaking the hell out on camera, but they're pretty much like, "Wow, man, I don't know." But it's great family fun. I think the guy is a really nice guy. He's funny. He's extremely talented. I highly recommend this show. I believe it's got 3 seasons in the books right now. So check it out. It's called Magic for Humans. Humans. Oh, you know what? Damn it, I don't know his name. I feel like it's Justin. I think his name is Justin. Joe. Anyway, it is what it is. Magic for Humans. The next thing I watched, this was kind of out of left field. This is for those of you who love a good conspiracy every now and then. This is a documentary which is available on that channel I was telling you guys about, Tubi, Tubi, Tubi. And the name of this show is it's a movie. It's called Unacknowledged. And what freaked me out about this is that they dive deep into basically the cover up that's been going on for decades on how they go about hiding all of this existing data about our interactions with UFOs. And Justin Willman, wifey tells me that's the name of the magician. It was Justin Willman. Um, but they spend a lot of time, money, and resources to covering up everything that we know about aliens and about extraterrestrial um UFOs. And so they throughout the documentary they give you these quotes from presidents that that tell you everything they know. Like, here's one from President Harry S. Truman. He was president back in the black and white days. He says, "I can assure you that flying saucers, given that they exist, are not constructed by any power on Earth." This is a president. These are serious people who want to be taken seriously, and they say stuff like this. You know, um, Here's another one from former President Gerald Ford. "I believe the American people are entitled to a more thorough explanation than has been given them by the Air Force. I think we owe it to the people to establish credibility regarding UFOs and to produce the greatest possible enlightenment of the subject." And it just kind of blows my mind. It blows my mind because, yeah, we have discussions about UFOs and, like, oh, yeah, they probably are aliens, but we don't really mean that when we say that, like, we don't even realize the significance, the earth shattering significance of what happens when they do eventually tell us, they confirm what we've believed all along, that UFOs are real and aliens do exist. That means we're not alone in the universe. And I don't know how the public will react. They've hidden it from us for all these years because they're concernicus that, you know, um, will freak out, and probably we will. But tell us, give us that info, give us the data. And last but not least, in the random stuff part of the show, is the latest episode of The Handmaid's Tale was released last Wednesday. They come out every Wednesday, and this is a hell of a show. If you have not yet watched The Handmaid's Tale, it is on Hulu. Hulu. Uh, and this will literally have you sitting in your on your couch, screaming and balling up your fists like, what is happening? It's a fantastic show. Highly recommend this one as well. It's also scary. It's not meant to be a horror, but it is jarring. So check it out. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for the random stuff. And now it is time for our quick hits. Quick hits. Yeah! Hit that Samama B. Hit him. Hit him in his stupid head. Quick hits. Quick hits. Wait, what the hell is that? Hold on. I don't know what the hell happened. Let me just double check. Is this? Okay, that's right. Hold on. Something happened to my files. I know I added this already and I have to re-add it. Just give me a second here, guys. That's from the previous show. Yeah, no, it's not Obama. That was from a previous show, and for some reason the files I added just before the show started did not take. So we're gonna just add them again. Bum, 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 bum. If the people who made this program would discuss with me what changes I would make, I would say please allow me to add these things more quickly. Let's try that again. Quick hits. There we go. All right. So, Synth fan said the Greys didn't like me calling them out. The Greys, by the way, BT dubs, that's the aliens. Phil Mickelson, aka Lefty, won the PGA tournament, which is a very big deal. It's historic because that now makes him the oldest player to win a major. So, congratulations to Phil Mickelson. I believe he is he's a good guy, indeed. And I met him once too. Okay, next up we have American Idol. It's a show that I no longer watch, but I assume some of you guys watch this show. Possibly, I don't know. I got tired of it when I realized that, when you vote, like the majority of votes that come in are from like little teenage girls that are pushing the ones that they want to win. So, keeping in tradition, there's a handsome young man by the name of Chase Beckham, who apparently has had his own issues with alcoholism, and he's conquered those, and he rose to the occasion and won the coveted American Idol award. So congratulations to him. I did listen to his performance from last night, and guy's good. I'm not much for country music, but that guy has a good sound. So congratulations to him as well. Next up, Mayor Bill de Blasio of NYC, that's New York City, has announced today that schools will reopen in the fall and there will not be remote learning, which is a very big deal for a lot of parents who are eager to drop their kids off at school and handle their business. It's a very big deal. And it's not just a big deal for those parents, but it's a big deal overall for New York City, and for America in general, because it is a sign of getting back to that normalcy, part of which we are going to discuss a little later in the show. But what is not normal is Belarus. I'm not missing much. Okay. Belarus did order the Ryanair commuter passenger plane to land based on a bogus bomb threat. And really what they were interested was in arresting this young man here, and his name is Roman Protasevich. Roman Protasevich, who is an opposition journalist. He's a journalist. He's outspoken in his opposition to the president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko. And Lukashenko is a good friend of Vladimir Putin, aka Vladimir Putin. Yeah, he does look extremely young, this guy. So when he found out that the plane was being diverted, this was a flight from Greece to Lithuania. When he found out that the plane was being diverted, he became very concernicus because he knew immediately that they were going to arrest him and he could possibly face death. Death in prison. So this is very serious, and the international community thus far has responded by diverting their flights around, around the Belarus airspace. They are no longer flying over, and I think that hits them somewhat in the pocketbook too, because airspace, that's ka-ching, that's money. People do own airspace, and if they're no longer flying over that airspace, they're losing some serious dollars. But there's got to be a much stronger response to this, because you can't just divert planes saying that, that there's a law. There is actually a law in the books against doing this. It's state sponsored terrorism or hijacking, whatever you want to call it. So I hope the international community will issue a stronger condemnation of Belarus and institute sanctions and whatever else it takes and get this guy out of jail stat, because that doesn't work. This, by the way, is Lukashenko. Next up, this weekend, and it's strange, I did not hear anything about this at all until today. Possibly because I spent most of my weekend pretty much away from the news. I was all in with the magic and the aliens. But this was a sad weekend for a lot of families. There were 13 mass shootings in 8 states total, with 13 people dead and over 70 were injured. Each of these shootings involved at least 4 victims in Jersey City, Minneapolis, San Angelo, Texas, North Charleston, South Kakalaki, Cumberland County, New Jersey, Columbus, Ohio, Patterson, New Jersey, Norfolk, Virginia, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Youngstown, Ohio, Park Forest, Illinois, and Chicago. So already this year in 2021, 7,500 people have been killed by gun violence. And that's a 23% rise in deaths from last year. From last year, 2020, when we were all locked down. It's amazing that there was even any mass shooting, gun violence while we were all locked down. But yeah, it happened. And gun violence, it seems to be like gun violence is the only epidemic that politicians are either unable or unwilling to address, to attack, and to solve. It's a serious, this is like a massive public health crisis. What else would you call it? What else would you call it when people, and these are children that are being killed, random. They're not, a little girl riding her bicycle, a kid in the back seat of their parents' car. All these gun violence episodes, this is an epidemic, and we need a concerted response the way they addressed COVID-19. Same thing. And that's it for the quick hits. Yes, Sheila Bird says Norfolk, Virginia is her birthplace, and Fort Wayne, Indiana holds a special place. Many road trips to visit her sis. Yes, Pasta D says mass genocide, hashtag pandemic pandemonium. It's funny, my son is saying hashtag this, hashtag everything during our conversations. It is kind of hilarious. Cindy C says people being gunned down at birthday parties. Yeah, in fact, quite a few of those mass shootings were birthday parties. It's like, Do we need to shut down for gun violence? What's up, Scribble My Dibbles? She is in the house as well. Scribble My Dibbles. Okay, guys, it is now time. It's that time of the show. It's time for the timeline, a cleanse. Timeline cleanse. Timeline cleanse. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so they say sometimes that kids say the darndest things out of the mouths of babes. Yeah, so this next video will show you a kid pointing at a kid, and I'll let you know who the goat really is, or you decide who is the goat.
A fucking goat outside.
It's just a goat.
No, it's a fucking goat. A fucking goat outside.
It's just
What?
a goat.
No, it's a fucking goat.
Excuse me, what kind of goat is it?
A fucking goat outside.
It's just a goat.
No, it's a fucking goat.
It's
A fucking goat outside.
a
It's
fucking
just a
goat.
goat.
No,
Mother
fucking
dear,
goat.
it's a specific kind of goat, don't you see?
A fucking goat outside.
It's just a goat.
No,
No,
goat.
it's a fucking goat. This kid. And he's serious too. Like, no, don't you? It's a fucking goat. That's so great. Yeah, Deb B says, wasn't that a Cosby Jello thing or a show? Yeah, but you know what? We're not allowing Bill Cosby to like just cancel everything with his shittiness. No, we're reclaiming the kids say the darndest things. Yes. Next up, those of you who are pet owners, you kind of have an idea which and you have a spouse or a significant other, you guys kind of know which one the dog or cat loves more, right? But I bet you never really put that to an actual scientific test, have you? Well, this next couple has.
Run in opposite directions to see who your dogs love more.
It's terrible, by the way. He's like, wait, Mama? Dada? What? Wait? Huh. So I'll just spin. How about that? I love you both. I'm not choosing, but I'm really more on Mama's side. Wait, no, I'm going back towards Dad. I'm right in the middle.
Run in opposite directions to see who your dogs love more.
He's smack dab in the middle. Aw, but I don't want to choose. Please come back. Don't make me. I'm spinning. I'm gonna make myself dizzy until you return. Guys, don't do this to your dog, by the way. Don't do this to your dog. I say your dog because, dogs will easily find themselves in that situation, but a cat will not submit to that whatsoever. Cat, you guys run in different directions. The cat will just sit there and lick themselves until you come back. All right, next up, some of you may have seen gender reveal parties already. Some of these gender reveal parties, first of all, my personal opinion, I think those gender reveal parties are stupid. I think they're stupid, especially the ones that involve explosives. Come on, people, don't use explosives to reveal the gender of your child. You know what? Why not, let that just happen the way we always used to do it? It's a boy, it's a girl, whatever. But this next clip, some of you may have already seen this. Here is a perfect gender reveal fail. Little girl's supposed to pop it. Oh, you see, I'm sorry. Mama kind of had that coming. Sometimes you need to discipline the kids, but that's not cool. You did that in front of everybody. You took her popping thing, and then when she got mad, what is she, 4, 5? Bye, gender. I guess we'll never know. The balloon is gone. We're never gonna know. Anissa says, I think by the time I have a baby, these gender reveals will be out of style, and hopefully. Lee Saunders says, in this day and age, it shouldn't matter what gender the baby is. It's either one or the other. People used to ask me before my sons were born, they're like, what do you want? And I was like, look, I don't care. Just want them to have 10 fingers, 10 fingers and 10 toes, and be healthy. That's pretty much it. And Scribble My Dibble says that poor child is traumatized. Hey, yeah, Jen Murphy says they're mad at the kid. What's wrong with them? This is a stupid exercise anyway. And I think, in that child's defense, she was probably trying to communicate that to them. Cindy says, we're never going to know until the next ultrasound. Indeed. Pasta D said, that little girl said, it's a fucking sheep. All right, let's see. Time in. Okay, so now what I'm judging right now is how long I spent on these previous features here and figuring out what time I have left. So I've spent a little bit too much time already. We are going to jump right into the first feature, and that is, what is post-COVID normal? What is it? A year and several months ago, we learned that a deadly virus was heading this way from China. Whether it was from China or London, where it ended up being, a lot of people were transmitting it from London. It got here, and it arrived, and it was very scary because in February and March, a lot of things started shutting down. Major League Baseball, basketball, football. All these major events started shutting down. Businesses were closing. Supplies were running out, and now here we are a year later, and we're getting some semblance of normalcy, but not quite. But thanks to vaccinations, massive vaccinations. In fact, as of today, 286 million vaccine shots. I'm not blaming London, Lee. 286 million shots have been given out, and almost 50% of the population in America have gotten at least one shot, and almost 40% are fully vaxxed. So that is significant, and we know in order to achieve herd immunity, we need somewhere around the number of 70% or 80% fully vaxxed. Now, it doesn't look like we're going to hit that number, but at the very least, one of the major metrics of the COVID-19 era, the deaths have plummeted, the daily deaths. At one point, at its height, we were looking at 2,000 deaths per day here in America. As of today, the latest number is 563 deaths per day, which is still high. Don't get me wrong, that is still high and it's still tragic, but it's way off of what our peak was. This was Times Square. Times Square, hands down, is the one of the busiest avenues or districts in New York City. It's one of my favorite, actually. I love Andrew Yang was catching some shit because somebody asked him, "What's your favorite subway stop?" And he said Times Square. Whatever. I love Times Square. It's so chock full of eye candy. All the video screens there, the colors, the crazy stuffed animal costumed actors there. It's a great area, but it was desolate. It was deserted a year ago. And now it's people are repopulating the streets once again. And yeah, thankfully, a lot of people are still wearing masks, as we should, because what does the post COVID world look like? It is a lot of uncertainty because Trump Reaper wants to know, where did the porno shops and peep shows go? Those left a long time ago. I want to say in the mid 90s, I think, mid to late 90s, they were banished by Disney. I think Disney owns a good chunk of Times Square. But the post COVID world, there's a lot of uncertainty, mainly who's been vaccinated, who has and who hasn't gotten it. You can't ask everybody for their vaccine passport. So what happens here? Well, for one, I think handshakes and high fives probably thing of the past right now. Probably. Or at least, if they come back maybe 2, 3, 4 years down the road. Could be. Movies, movie theaters. I found out the other day that a movie I really want to see, A Quiet Place Part 2, is hitting movie theaters. If it's not this Friday, it's next Friday. And the commercial said only in theaters. And I was like, damn, I was bummed about that because you know what? That means I'm not going. It means I'm not going. I'm not taking my family into a closed space with people who may or may not have been vaccinated. You know, for me, that certainty is only going to come with time, and that means maybe next year, maybe a year from now, I'll feel comfortable about going back because by then we're all fully vaccinated, and most of the people with a brain in their head either have been vaccinated or have been, killed off by Darwin, by evolution. Um, Here's another thing: when people were going to visit their relatives in nursing homes, they couldn't, they couldn't hug, and uh, you know, say what you will about handshakes and high fives, but the hug is everybody needs a hug, and hugging through plastic is just not the same. That's the same thing that a lot of men will say about using a condom. But this was out of necessity. Obviously, you want to protect the lives of those that you love. Well, now the hugging is not necessary for, again, vaccinated people. We can hug again. Look at this. Do you guys remember this? The shelves at the shopping at the supermarkets and places like Target, the shelves just being bare, and not just TP. It was like it was hand sanitizer. It was a lot of frozen foods. It was shit that, like, come on, people. The shelves were bare. Part of it was because a shortage of drivers, delivery people to deliver it, and the other reason was people were hoarding it the way they are hoarding gasoline like morons. Supermarkets, um, as of this Saturday, wifey and I are still both masking up. We are fully vaxxed, but no, we're not going into uh, supermarkets like Costco without masking up. Just not going to do it. Not now, probably not next week or next month. Eventually, but the essential workers, they're still wearing the masks, and I'm going to continue to wear the mask too. And I think the stores, the management of the stores are going to play a big role in determining whether or not we take our masks off. I think we'll wait a couple of weeks, maybe a month after they say, "Oh, you don't have to wear a mask anymore." That's what it's going to be. Karens, we've seen, we've seen. No offense to our Karen Purdy out here and the other lovely Karens we have. It is so unfortunate that the name Karen became synonymous with raggedy bishes, but yeah, Karens were basically and it's not just women, it's also men. I think we call them Chads or Cliffs or whatever the hell we're calling them. People who went into stores and refused to leave because they refused to wear a mask. Q Karen, yeah. Our yes, Monique says our kind Karen is a saint. Ah. Um, so yeah, we've seen the rise of Karens, and unfortunately, they're not going away. Nope. No, we even have a Q Aaron in Congress too. We'll get to her later. Restaurants. A lot of people love going to restaurants. They love eating out. I never really cared much for eating out at restaurants. Long before the pandemic, I wasn't a big fan of restaurants. It's like it's overpriced, and I like getting takeout, but sitting down in the restaurant. But a lot of people do. That's the point. A lot of people do, and outdoor dining, they say you can do. Indoor dining, in some cases, you can do also. I don't personally. I don't know how do you get away from get. How do you eat with the mask on? You can't. So it's inevitable. You go out to eat at a restaurant, there's going to be some spray. If you're vaccinated, just roll the dice and do what you got to do. Another thing, our favorite late night show hosts, in this instance here, for me, it's Trevor Noah. Trevor has been doing his show from home this entire year, has not returned to the studio. I believe Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon have returned to the studio, but my man Trevor's still doing it from home, and more power to him. That's fantastic. But at some point, he's going to be back in the studio as well, and that will be another sign of the return to normalcy. Mass shootings. Mass shootings is unfortunately a sign of normalcy. It means that people are out there, like, as we saw this past weekend, there were birthday parties. And mass shootings should not be the norm. Let me just make that clear. Mass shootings should not be the norm. But the fact that they are happening and they are rising, it means that more people are out, more people are having massive gatherings. But this is a horrible sign of normalcy that I do not want to return to. Super spreader events. At some point, the super spreader events, we have to stop shaming them. It is what it is. People do like to be in a great big gathering. If there's a whole shit ton of people there, it means, yeah, we're jamming here. This is nice. Nobody wants to go to a party with like two or three people, So the more people, they say the more the merrier. So at some point, we will reach a point with the vaccinated people that gatherings like this will be safe. Last night, the Knicks game that I was watching, this right here, these are the Knicks fans in Madison Square Garden, and we were watching, wifey and I were watching this, and there were not a lot of people wearing masks. And that was disturbing. We were disturbed by this, but this is another sign of a return to normalcy. Now, this is stupid. This is stupid. I seriously hope this is not what's happening in the dating world. For those of you who are still out on the market, dating is going to change too, because now your primary concern is not whether or not they have a job or whether or not that's really their real picture in their profile if you're using that dating app or whatever. Now you want to know, A, are you a Trump supporter? And B, have you been vaccinated? This is important. This is an important consideration for dating. People, there's a lot of people who have been locked down and have not had human contact. They want to get back out there, but you want to be safe and smart about it. So if you find out that so and so has not been vaccinated, you better swipe. What is it? Is it right or left? If you reject somebody on those apps, is it swipe right? Whatever the reject swipe is, do that if they're not vaccinated. Yeah, and if they're vaccinated, don't kiss with the mask on. What kind of nonsense is this? That's stupid. Exercising, jogging out in the parks. These are things that people are doing already. Swipe left is reject. Deborah Baldini says swipe left on them. Don't mess with them. But yeah, overall, we are seeing encouraging signs of people returning to normalcy, and I'm all for it, but we have to be safe. Deb B says buffering. Yeah, okay. We have to be safe, and we have to be smart about this return to normalcy. But ultimately, it is up to you. It is up to me and all of us. God damn, a whole lot of people are saying buffering. Buffering. Valerie G, Misha, Stephanie L. Okay, Chacha says it stopped buffering. Okay, momentary. It's up to all of us to set the rules, okay? Feel free to exert your right for social distance. You can still do it, especially if you don't know somebody and they come up in your personal space. Back up, Jack. I don't know you. You've been vaccinated? Where's your vaccine card? Feel free to do it. This is us, so we have to figure these things out. The government can't do everything for us. They can only advise and guide us and say, you should wear a mask, you should get vaccinated, et cetera, et cetera. The rest is up to us, and we are the ones that make up society. Huh? So as we are the ones that make up society, we are the ones that make up the rules. The same way someone came up with the rule of if somebody sneezes, you say, God bless you. Hmm? That wasn't a government edict. That was something that society eventually came up with. It was like an unwritten rule. And then if you don't say God bless you, or if you don't cover your mouth, whatever, you're an asshole, So we're going to find out in this new post-COVID world who are the assholes and who are the responsible people. And that's what I have to say about that. Now, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for this part of the show, which I was very excited and looking forward to. It's called Name That Movie Quote. Some of these are going to be easier than others. I tried to trip you up a little bit with some of these, but I think this is going to be fun. Most of you have already played some version of this game before. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read off a quote from a movie. Some of these are very popular, famous quotes. In fact, most of them are. Most of them are. If you're a movie head like me, you shouldn't have any problem with it. And when you know what the movie is, you type it in and hit send, and I read off, the first 5 or 10 names that did correctly guess. I'm going to start off with the easiest one. This is the easiest one, I think. Here it goes. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. What is that movie? What is the name of that movie? Where'd it come from? Huh? Who said it? All right. We got some quick responses. Correct. Excuse me. This is The Godfather. And first up, we got Lee Saunders, who is always complaining that she's not good at this game. She got it right up at the top. Susie Brizuela, Synth Fan, Scribble My Dibble writes Go Father. Tracy M, Sheila Bird, Hilda Baiza, Linda Taylor, Punxsutawney Mo, Speedtopia, Cha Cha, Cindy C. Correct. Everybody's correct. All right, let me jump on to the next one here. This one may be a little bit more, this might not be as well known, but here it is. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. I love the smell of napalm. Okay, we got some guesses. St. Fan says Robert Duvall. Yeah, okay, so this was from the movie Apocalypse Now. Wait. Apocalypse Now. Oh, wait. There we go. Okay, yes, Apocalypse Now. And we have Synthfan, Lee Saunders, Scribble My Dibbles, Synthfan, Jen Murphy. Nope. We got a few guesses saying Platoon, some guessing Full Metal Jacket. Correct on the director, wrong on the movie. Cha-Cha, Linda Taylor, Amanda Crawford, Punxsutawney Mo, Watcher Sokos, Monique, Debbie, Victorina, and then nope, not Victorina. Sorry, you said Good Morning Vietnam. Okay, next up, what's the next one? You ain't getting this one. If you do, I'm highly impressed. Prepare thyself. They call me Mr. Tibbs. I'll do it again. They call me Mr. Tibbs. The line that preceded that line was, what they call you up there where you're from? Oh, shit. Excuse me. God damn it. You guys were more cleverer than I did know. Yes, it was the incomparable Sidney Poitier in the movie Heat of the Night. I think it was In the Heat of the Night, but I'll give you Heat of the Night. Up top, we got the Trump Reaper. Speedtopia, I'm giving you credit for naming Sidney Poitier. Monique Lee Saunders, Cha-Cha. Kimini, Pasta D, Sheila Bird. Peter is a boss. Some of you are guessing Who's Coming to Dinner. You got the right actor, but you got the wrong movie. Julian Gauthier. Oh, Matt Meehan says Pulp Fiction. It is not. Jen Murphy, Pandora. Amanda Crawford. Scribbles said, guess who's coming to dinner too? Nope. Phyllis Hatch, In the Heat of the Night. Correct, Amundo. Okay, next one. Here we go. Listen closely. Just keep swimming. 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 I'm seeing some interesting guesses here. And the reveal is we were looking for Finding Nemo. And at the top here, we've got Misha Oliver. Some folks were guessing Splash. Other folks were guessing Jaws. Victorina, you're very close. I'll give you partial credit. You said Dory. Dory was the character who said, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming. Susie Brizuela. Peter is a boss. Samantha B. Hilda B is so close. Cindy C. Well, I'll give you partial credit too. You said Doris. I believe you meant Dora. Asmila J. Synth Fan. Amanda Crawford. Scribble My Dibbles. Julian Gauthier. Adrian Gladish. It's not Alcatraz, but that's a good guess, though. Phyllis Hatch, Adrian Gladish. Very good. Okay, next up. This one should be relatively easy, I think. Greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed, for lack of a better word, is good. You guys are quick on that one. I'm not as clever as I thought I was. Yes, this was Michael Douglas playing the character Gordon Gekko. And at the top, we've got Lee Saunders, Tracy M., Matt Meehan, Synth Fan, Wilbur McCarthy, Peter is a Boss, The Trump Reaper, Speedtopia, Monique, Cindy C., Phyllis Hatch, Kimity, Susie Brizuela, Sheila Bird, Pasta D, Jen Murphy, Julian Gauthier. Okay, you guys got it. I see you, Gavin Rutherford, and Cha-Cha. Very good. Okay, I got to move it along now because I'm going too slow. This is one of my favorites. Prepare thyself. You ready? Whoa. I'll say it again. Whoa. 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 You guys are good. You guys are good. Whoa. These guesses are funny. All right. So, what I was going for, what I was looking for was The Matrix. Yeah, The Matrix. But I figured that because it's so similar to Keanu Reeves' delivery in other movies, I would also give you credit for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure or even a Point Break. Basically, any Keanu Reeves movie. So we got correct guesses from Kimini, Stacy Mendenhall. Kimini guessed Keanu Reeves. Stacy said Bill and Ted. Susie Brizuela, Bill and Ted. Asmila J. Amanda Crawford, Samantha B. Tracy M. That was a good guess. She said Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but I can't give you credit for that. He was not in that movie. The Trump Reaper, Matt Meehan, Julian Gauthier, Eddie G. Synth fan said Speed. I'll give that's a Keanu movie. Bernadette, Debbie, Marty, Gavin Rutherford also said Speed. Partial credit for that. Yeah, basically anything with Keanu Reeves. Whoa. Okay. Here's the next one. Carpe diem. Seize the day, boys. Make your lives extraordinary. Carpe diem. Seize the day, boys. Make your lives extraordinary. Yes, yes, indeed. You guys are very good. Okay, we got, at the top, we got Matt Meehan jumps in first. Dead Poet Society. Followed by Synth Fan, Jen Murphy. Sylvia Correa. Speedtopia, I'm going to give you partial credit because you did say Robin Williams, and that is correct. Synth Fan. Phyllis Hatch. Julian Gauthier. Misha Oliver, you get partial. Peter is a boss. Gavin Rutherford. Susie Brizuela. Tracy M. Punxsutawney Moo. Amanda Crawford. Very good, guys. Okay. I got a few more, and then we're going to wrap it up. Here we go. You talking to me? You talking to me? You talking to me? Wilbur, you said you suck at this, but you've already guessed a few correctly. You've already done it. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Correctamundo, guys. Very good. We got at the top here, we got Gavin Rutherford. We were looking for Taxi Driver. I'll give you Taxi Driver. Gavin Rutherford, Kimini, Tracy M, Pasta D, Lee Saunders, Hilda Baiza, the Trump Reaper, Matt Meehan, Peter is Boss, Deb B, Sylvia Correa, Monique, Asmila J, Amanda Crawford, Synth Fan, Linda Taylor, Julian Gauthier, Sheila Bird. Okay. Oh, and Deb B says Robert De Niro. Very good. Okay, we got two more. I think, right? We got two more? Yes. Here is the first one of the only two to go. I've got a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. I've got a feeling we are not in Kansas anymore. Corey Lord, the question is, I've got a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. What movie is it from? You just got here, but you're just in time. Not in Kansas anymore, and there is an avalanche of answers. Correctamundo. We were looking for, we're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. He is the Wizard of a Wiz, if ever a Wiz there was. If ever a Wiz there was, the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz is one because. Ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, at the top we got Matt Meehan, Lee Saunders, Kim Nee, BD's the Boss, Misha Oliver, Susie Brizuela, Pasta D, Smila J, Samantha B, Adrian Gladish, Speedtopia, Trump Reaper, Debbie, Gavin Rutherford, Linda Taylor, Synth Fan, Wilbur McCarthy, Victorina, Jen Murphy, Amanda, Deborah Baldini, Anissa Cameron. Okay, very good. You guys, right on the money. And Corey Lord jumped in there too. Just in time. All right, guys. Here's the last one. Last one. Pay close attention. Here's Johnny. Here's Johnny. Here's Johnny. The Shining was easily one of the scariest movies I saw in my childhood, indeed. Scary, scary, very scary. I mean, the portrayal of Jack Nicholson's portrayal was phenomenal. Phenomenal. How they showed the slow but steady deterioration of the guy's brain space in that uh, very remote locale, haunted, as it were. Lee Saunders, Punxsutawney Mo, Kim and Nee, Tracy M, Misha Oliver, Stacy Mendenhall, Synth Fan, Cindy C, Victorina, The Trump Reaper, Peter is a Boss, Susie Brizuela, Julianne Gauthier, Amanda Crawford, Jen Murphy, Monique, watch your circle, Linda Taylor, Corey Lord, Sylvia Correa, Bernadette. You guys are very good. Very close. Adrian, you said One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I saw a few people guess that because the actor Jack Nicholson was in that. Cecile Kazemi says both. Jack Nicholson, The Shining. Okay. Very good, guys. Red rum, red rum, red rum, red rum, red rum. It's a frightening movie. The images in that movie were very frightening. Okay, so that's that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for participating in this game. I enjoy playing it so much. Yes, and Speedtopia says scariest movie, The Exorcism and The Omen. The Exorcist. I saw that. I was very young, 4 or 5 years old. Terrified. Terrified. The Omen too. All right. Next up, it is that time. We're jumping back into the You Raggedy Bitch. And today's You Raggedy Bitch is none other than the crazed lunatic you see in front of you right now. It's Marjorie Taylor Greene.
The American Jewish Congress has expressed concern over your comments comparing mask mandates to the Holocaust. Do you stand behind those comments?
You know, here's what I stand by. We shouldn't be having this kind of treatment. No one should be treated like a second-class citizen for saying I don't need to wear a mask or saying that my medical records are my privacy based on my HIPAA rights. And so I stand by all of my statements. I said nothing wrong. And I think any rational Jewish person didn't like what happened in Nazi Germany, and any rational Jewish person doesn't like what's happening with overbearing mask mandates and overbearing vaccine policies.
Do you understand, though, why some would be upset and offended by the comment?
Well, do you understand how people feel about being forced to wear masks or being forced to have to take a vaccine or even have to say that whether they've taken it or not? These are just things that shouldn't be happening in America. This is a free country, and it's just ridiculous to have these kind of conversations.
The American Jewish Congress has expressed concern over your comments comparing.
Where to begin? There's so much to unpack. There was so much wrong. First of all, she didn't answer she didn't answer the questions asked by that reporter. She just flipped them back. But she said any reasonable Jewish person would understand how uncomfortable it is to wear a mask. You know, there is a humongous difference between being uncomfortable wearing a mask, being told to wear a mask because it is for the safety of people at home and people everywhere. It's for everybody's safety. What the hell is going on with my pictures here? Hang on. It's automatic. Why is this picture not changing? I don't know. They're all in there. Okay, whatever. It's for public safety. Thank you, Asmila J. And a reasonable Jewish person would slap you in your stupid face because the Holocaust is very different. These were people who were taken from their families, put on trains, put in concentration camps, worked to death, worked to the bone, and then gassed in massive gas chambers. You cannot compare scientists and politicians telling you to wear a mask to protect yourself and others to the Holocaust. So she says stuff like this, incendiary stuff. Part of me believes that she's doing it to signal to people to the right, you know, to Trump supporters that, yeah, she says what she means and means what she says. And part of me believes she just says it because she's ignorant. Like, I don't even want to give her the credit for this to be some kind of tactical move. Because if it is tactical, you're signaling to the absolute worst people in humanity. On the one hand, the people on the right like to say that they support Israel and they support the Jewish people, but really they don't. They don't, because if they supported the Jewish people, they would attack her for saying something as thoughtless and stupid as this. So Linda Taylor says she is raising loads of money. Yes, she is. She already raised, in the first couple of months of 2021, she raised over $3 million. And I don't know what her number is right now, but she's still raising money. And again, a lot of what the people on the right do, people like her, people like Ted Cruz, is kind of like performance art. And they're performing for the far, far right. They want to fill the void of awfulness left behind by Trump. And they mistake horrible things being said by her as, yeah, she's just telling it, she's shooting from the hip. She tells it like it is. You know, they're mistaking that for some kind of authenticity, but really she's just a horrible, horrible person. So this weekend, David Weissman on Twitter, if you guys don't know David Weissman is a former Republican, former Trump supporter who has since realized the error of his ways, and he is a delightful guy. Yeah, I love how he's kind of turned himself around fully. And he often will quote tweet an old post that he put on Twitter like years ago, and he says, look how wrong I was. That shit is beautiful. I love this guy. Anyway, David put up a petition that, as of last night, had already garnered, Lee Saunders said it's 50,000 signatures so far. Yeah. So it was 45,000 last night. If you haven't yet signed his petition is that it is time to expel Marjorie Taylor Greene, because the rest of the Republicans, they're not moving. They're not doing anything about her. They're fine with her as it is. They're fine with Matt Gaetz. They're fine with her. They're fine with Trump. They're fine. They are that meme, I'm fine. That dog sitting in a burning house. They are that meme. But it's not fine. And some people say, why do you even spend time, giving her attention? Why are you giving her oxygen? And no, I'm not giving her oxygen or attention. I don't want to talk about her. But as long as she's out there in the public and I have a platform and I can say something, I'm going to throw shit at her as often as I can. Because silence is complicity. If you are silent, it means you are okay with the things she's saying. So, yeah, okay, so hundred of thousands other people are saying that she's an asshole. I'm throwing my voice in there too. She is an asshole. And the more people that say she's an asshole, it decreases her popularity with people probably who were never going to vote for her anyway. But she needs to be tagged with this shit. Everything that she says that is horrible, she needs to be tagged with it and held accountable for it in some way. And eventually the chorus will get too loud. What am I saying? Republicans are never going to hold her responsible, but voters will. And that's what matters. She ran unopposed in Georgia, and that's how she's in the seat she's in. This next election, she will be opposed and she will lose. She has to lose. It is a disgrace that she still has a seat in Congress right now. She said January 6th was 1776. It is appalling that they have allowed her to remain in her seat in Congress this long. That's all I'm going to say about that shite. Cindy C, thank you, saying, remember, BDD needs the likes. Hit that like button. It looks like the thumb up. Please hit that. I appreciate it so much. Yes. Okay, we're going to do this really quick because I'm running out of time. It's time for The Littlest President. The Littlest President is available on BrooklynDeadDefiant.com. If you go to BrooklynDeadDefiant.com, you're going to see this beautiful signature. It says, We Juan. We Juan. And look how swooshy that is. It's beautiful. Littlest President is starring President Barack Obama, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Joseph R. Biden, and the R stands for ready to kick that ass. Bladder Bear pooping, holding the puppet strings on Spanky McDumbass, Complicit Barbie, Rudy Giuliani, Gummy McJuicebox, Kellyanne Conjob, Stephen the Snake Miller, and Mitch McTurtle McConnell. And now it's time for our favorite page because this is Spanky McDumbass. Spanky McDumbass is sad. He used to be rich. He used to be a businessman. He used to be a TV star. He used to have a Twitter account. He used to be the littlest president. But now Spanky McDumbass is in jail. How did he get here? Let's go back. Yes, let us go back, shall we? He used to have a Twitter account, and now he sends out faxes. He sends out faxes, and it pisses me off that people are still posting his damn faxes. Like, stop already. You're defeating the purpose of him being banned from Twitter. Defeating the purpose. Ignore him. That's why I love to say the former guy. It lowers the amounts of mentions of his name. His name still gets mentioned, but not nearly as much. But what Spanky loved doing more than anything was tweeting. Many of his tweets were complaints like witch hunt or presidential harassment. Other tweets complained about celebrities or fake news or the size of his crowds. Sometimes he attacked people for no reason. Sometimes he threatened people. Once he even threatened civil war. Spanky was bad at tweeting. Yeah, a Civil War tweet, that didn't age very well after January 6th, did it? No, it did not. And I love this page because it just shows him sitting on the crapper. Blowing out a tweet. Oh, look at that. It might be time for me to use a different book as pages are falling out. There we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's that. I got time for two questions. two questions. I'm gonna have to tweak this show's format a little bit more and spend less time futzing around in the beginning. Most people just use TFG. TFG, the former guy. And Wilbur McCarthy says maybe we should report Don Jr. for tweeting Trump's blogs and try to get him suspended. That's not a bad idea. Pasta D says, Twitter, dear Spanky, you need to leave. Which, by the way, is on my shirt. Trump Reaper wants to know, how do you set up a Patreon? Just go to patreon.com, and it's not hard at all. I think it takes maybe about 10, 15 minutes, maybe, and they take you through a whole process, and bada bing, bada boom. Linda Taylor wants to know, will Trump go to prison? Yes. Yes, he will. There's no uncertainty coming from me. Before, there was just a teensy bit of uncertainty. None. He's going down. He is going down. There's no question. It's never happened before, but just because it's never happened before doesn't mean it can't happen now. At some point, nobody had ever been to the moon. Nobody had ever carried a personal computer in their pocket. You know, it's the first time for everything. And Corey Lord wants to know, should we recommend turning MTG's accounts against her? Bullying AOC was the beginning, so given her rubbish, should we make her angry? I wouldn't go out of my way to troll her. I mean, you're more than welcome to do it. I'm not going to tell anybody how to use her Twitter account. Just be mindful that the harder you go after her, be clever. Just be clever about it. Don't use words that can get you banged on the head and put in Twitmo for a while, okay? Be smart about it. But yeah, I don't know if you become a reply, if you reply to each of her tweets, that gives her more impressions. I wouldn't go out of my way to do it. No, but definitely, let your voice be heard. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time I have for today. Thank you for joining me for another wonderful episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. And if you got to go out, especially if you haven't been vaccinated, and even if you have, make sure you're wearing your mask, wear your gloves, keep your social distance 6 feet or better, and have a lovely, relaxing evening. I will see you guys here tomorrow. Same time, knock on wood. Same place. I love you all. Peace. Boom. Hey! Hit that like button! Hey! I see Otto's mom. Otto's mom is here. Otto's mom. Hey, congrats to the newly vaccinated Matt from Albuquerque. That's Tina G's son. Corey Lord, don't worry about the question. It's a good question. All right, guys. I love you all. And you know what time it is. It's you need to leave.